The third rule of the Korriban Society is no fighting other society members. If you have issues with another society member, avoid them until you resolve them. You'd think this would be obvious, but it sadly isn't. The fact that more Sith have died on the lightsabers of other Sith than any other way is the greatest failing of our creed, and was the entire reason Darth Bane instituted the Rule of Two. If you saw the introductory holovid, you know that we at the Korriban Society reject the Rule of Two. While it did greatly curb the Sith tendency toward infighting, it also greatly hampered the ability of the Sith to act. Bane and his apprentice Zana achieved little in their lifetimes besides the destruction of one of the largest Sith enclaves the galaxy has ever seen. They had no capacity to organize or wield political power. This did not change when Zana supplanted Bane and took her own apprentice, Darth Cognis, nor did it change with Cognis and her apprentice. This, by and large, was the pattern throughout the history of Sith abiding by the Rule of Two. The first time any noticeable effect was seen was when Darth Plagueis, a well-connected financier, took on a young Naboo statesman as his apprentice, and that statesman later became a senator. In other words, Plagueis got lucky. Well, for a little while. Sidious, Plagueis' apprentice, played fast and loose with the Rule of Two, and as such was able to accomplish a lot more. What did Sidious in was building his legacy on lies to his apprentices, pitting them against one another, and never keeping any of the promises he made to them, until finally his last apprentice stood up and overthrew him, but lost his life in the process. By discarding the Rule of Two, we can delegate on a far greater scale than previous Sith. Sadly, infighting has long been a feature of Sith life, and has been our greatest weakness next to the Jedi, who have seldom fallen victim to such self-destructive behavior. At the same time, we know better than to pretend that all Sith are our allies. There are, without doubt, more than a few Sith involved in the subversion of the Republic for their own self-serving reasons. Unless they are willing to abandon their cause, those Sith are not our allies. But those in the Society are, as are any others who will take up their lightsabers for the Republic and its ideals. We, being fallible beings, disagreements, and even heated ones, are bound to arise. As long as those disagreements do not conflict with our ideals or with the Society's goals, they must not be allowed to hamper our cause. Should you find yourself in such a disagreement with a fellow Society member, then until you can resolve it, you must avoid them whenever possible. Keep your focus on your own tasks. No fighting other Society members.